Oh, right.
It's Friday, mates.
It's Friday.
It's flipping 100 degrees, but it's Friday.
It's too hot. We've got cold beer, so it's okay.
This video is going to be about talking to a newly professional for PPF.
Yeah.
And basically just getting an understanding and telling you guys and showing you guys the basics of PPF and answering some most common questions. So we're going to start off with probably one of the most controversial ones. Is PPF actually worth it?
Yeah, it is. It is and it isn't. So it depends on your car. If you've got a 10-year-old VW Golf, no, it's probably not worth it unless you've got, something that's going to be rare in the future. But if you've got a Ferrari, something that maybe is going to hold its value, maybe Ferrari's not a good example, but
like this.
Yeah, something like this, then for sure. I mean, this is full PPF.
Yeah.
This has none. This is covered in stone chips. So if you wanted to keep it perfect and hold as much value as possible, you would have PPF'd it. So yeah, yes and no. Depends on how you value your car and what the car is to you. Is it an investment? Is it something that you're going to, drive the shit out of and then just sell it and you don't care? You've got to weigh all the kind of pros and cons, I think, for yourself.
And now that you say that, it reminds me of a question that I asked you about the ceramic coating. Does a PPF car, is it worth more? Or how does that work?
Again, it's kind of similar to the answer for the ceramic. So yes and no. If it's been PPF recently with a reputable brand and reputable place, then maybe you could charge a little bit more for the car. But it's what the paint looks like underneath that is what's going to give it more value. So you know that if a car's been PPF properly, if you pulled that off, it's going to look great underneath.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're trying to sell a car that's been PPF'd maybe and the PPF's 10 years old, it might actually decrease the value of the car because that PPF needs removing and it may be way past its sell-by date and it may be a nightmare to remove. So people might actually want to pay less for the car because it's a bit more of a risk of the paint pulling it off. So there's different ways of looking at it. I would say if you look after it properly and if you refresh your PPF, once the warranty's up, like maybe 10 years down the line, then yeah, you're going to be holding value and maybe increasing it.
And you've talked about the lifespan of it. I know a lot of car makers say no, or PPF makers say no, it can last 10 years. Some say 5 years, some say 6 years. What is the average lifespan of PPF that you've seen on cars, realistically?
I think on average, it's probably between 7 and 10 years, depending on the manufacturer. And that's a material warranty. So that's just telling you that your material isn't going to yellow. It's not going to start doing weird things and bubbling or whatever. Yeah. So long as the application has been done by someone properly, application errors aren't included. So, if your edge is lifting because they haven't done that properly, that's on the installer. Yeah. But material warranties, you should be pretty good with. But there are companies now, people are calling out a lot, some of the biggest companies, because they're pulling 1-year-old PPF off cars and it's completely yellow. Yeah. So, and they give a 10-year warranty. So it's
that's true. And does it vary on the way you use it? Can a car yellow depending on how you use it?
It shouldn't, like I say, but they will age quicker the more UV they're exposed to, the more washing and abuse they're exposed to, the more dirt. If it's kept in a garage and only driven a few times a year, the PPF's going to last ages. But if it's outside, and I think if you've got a car in California, they give you actually less warranty on your PPF because it gets so much sun. So.
True. Now that you've also seen, first of all, the front end of PPF from your competitors on how they're doing PPF, now that you experienced it and actually installing it on cars and that kind of stuff, what is important for consumers out there to look for on a PPF installer to be able to trust them?
I think you need to... It's all about cleanliness. To get a good install, it's skill, but it's also about cleanliness and prep. So you want to make sure that they're polishing your paint first. That's important because if your paint's swirly and scratched, the PPF isn't going to stick as well. And you're also going to have defects underneath it. You want to make sure the shop's nice and clean because there's going to be minimal dust inside it then. And I think it's just important to pick someone you trust. I think, there's a lot of people who are certified installers out there for, whether it be Expert or Profilm or
Guion.
Steck or Guion. It's kind of, I'm sure you're going to get a good PPF and good installs off most people, but yeah, you just got to pick someone you want to go with, you want to trust, and who's going to do it properly. You want to make sure they are prepping it properly.
Yeah, so I've seen this a lot on social media. Why do quotes vary so much?
That kind of goes back to what we were saying just then about prep. So you might get a really cheap quote off someone. It may even be almost half the price of a big shop down the road. But then that's when you need to start asking the guy who's quoting cheaper, are you going to polish my car beforehand? Are you going to prep it? How do you install? Are you using, adhesive promoters on the edges and the corners? What are you doing to get my car ready? Because the price isn't just cheaper, they're taking less time, and they're taking less time because they're taking probably more shortcuts, or they're doing less work. And so the money is going, that difference is somewhere. Yes, maybe the more expensive shop is just a bit more expensive as well, but if there's a massive difference, it's going to be in the work. There's something that isn't getting done, or that is getting done in the higher place that's separating them. So. And
very often when they say if you buy cheap, you buy twice.
It's exactly it. It's 100%. It's 100% it. And again, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of stuff on social media now. People ripping their PPF off after a year because it's yellow or it's fucked, and they're switching brands. So they're not even using the manufacturer's warranty and putting new stuff on the same manufacturer. They're just ditching it and switching to another brand. Yeah. So people are just sick of it.
Yeah. So. And what would you recommend what part of the car would you recommend someone PPFs first?
Depending on budget, I'd probably just go front end. So you want to go from the front of your doors. So you do the fenders, you do the bumper, the hood, and your wing mirrors and your A-frame. And that's basically everything that stones can hit. Okay. So it gives you that impact protection from the front, ceramic coat the rest, and you'll be pretty good.
Okay. Okay, and that's for both daily use and for...
I mean, if you've got a really rare show car and you're driving it a lot and you want to keep the paint as good as possible, do the whole car. Yeah. Or if you've got a brand new car and you want to just protect it because you care about it, then do it all for sure. Yeah. It does depend on your budget. It's a big price difference. So.
That's true. And also one of the things that you see very often is the self-healing effect on PPF. I think there's a lot of misconception of what that actually means and what it can do.
Yeah, so it's going to... Any scratch you get in your car that can polish out, that kind of scratch in PPF would self-heal. Okay. Any kind of scratch in a car that you would have to do a paint repair on, if you've got that level of scratch on your PPF, the PPF will be damaged. And potentially the paint underneath, but probably not, probably just the PPF. But then it's probably not going to heal back after that. It'll be like a little bit damaged. You'll see where it's been. It might be torn. But it's taken the impact and it's done its job. So, that's why you've got it. So it's kind of a good rule of thumb. If you dragged your key hard along PPF, it's probably going to be all right, but the market leaves might not heal up.
Yeah, and that's the difference between people, because they hear paint protection film and they think they can literally do whatever they want to it. Yeah. And unfortunately,
there's a lot of videos of people like mixing concrete on it, and you can't do shit like that. But the PPF state underneath that isn't going to be perfect enough.
No. You answered this question for the ceramic coating. When it comes to the aftercare, as soon as it's finished, what would you recommend? How fast when do they wash it? How do they maintain it? How do you maintain a PPF car?
You can kind of do what you want with it, like ceramic coating, but you don't want to go too close with pressure washers. We normally ask them to wake a few weeks before they even wash it, and then when you do wash it with pressure washer, don't go too close, because if the pressure washer is really powerful, it can pierce the film and then inflate it with water, and then your PPF is just going to start failing. Damn. That's especially with the commercial pressure washers in the boxes. Yeah. Apart from that, you can wash it kind of normally. We ceramic coat on top of PPF, so you've got those ceramic coating properties as well, so it's easy to wash. So it's pretty chill to maintain. Just take care at the beginning, and if you see anything like edges lifting up or bubbles that you hadn't noticed before, just send some pictures to the shop that did it, and they'll probably be able to sort you out. It's quite common. There's always a few little things, and as standard, we ask people to come back in after a month just to make sure it's all good and everything's sitting well. So
the biggest thing very often is, like we said, the varying in prices, because now you also have things like color PPF, which is double the price. Yeah. And then people ask the question, what's the difference between color PPF and wrap? Well, that is the question people ask. You want to change the color of the car. Yeah. What would you recommend, color PPF or wrap?
Again, it's budget. Like, you can wrap a car for thousands less than you can do a full PPF job, but you're not going to get protection. So if a stone or someone hits you very gently, the wrap's gone, and your paint underneath is also gone. Yeah. Whereas the PPF takes the impact on color PPF. You also get a little bit more depth in the color PPFs, and they're a little bit more glossy, in my opinion. But the price difference is because you have to wrap every single edge with PPF, and it's not as malleable as wrap. So it's really hard to get it to stretch. You can't do that whole heating and stretching over things like you do with wrap. You can to a certain extent, but not that much. So it's harder to work with. It's more expensive to make. And it takes longer to install, so that's the price difference there. Okay.
And this is the last question. How would you recommend new detailers or intermediate detailers, how would you recommend them getting into PPF?
Do some training. Start with a day or two doing kind of interior screens, doing Porsche, Shark, PPFs on the sides, maybe some A pillars, B pillars, all that simple stuff. Learn that first, then live with that. Use that to upsell clients, add little bits to cars here and there, luggage sills, all those kind of simple bits. Yeah. Once you're comfortable with that and you've had a few, you've done a few of them, get another load of training done and do like full front ends. Then after that, do full cars and just really slowly kind of level up. If you've got a really expensive, crazy shaped car come in, that's going to be a lot more difficult. So get the trainer back in to help you with that job. Take the hit on the profit, but you'll learn more that way, and you're not going to fuck up so much material and waste so much money that way. So, yeah, slowly is the best way to get good, I think.
I think that's with most things in life, and unfortunately, the patience is quite literally a virtue, but it helps you in the long run.
Yeah,
and it helps you with your. It also goes back to the trust. It helps you build up not only the trust in yourself, but it lets other people trust you a whole lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah, so. Agreed. Yeah.
Perfect. If you guys have any other questions, please let us know. All Charlie's information is in the description, as usual. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.